Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies, a podcast where we discuss all things related to the Happier and Happier in Hollywood podcasts.
We're sisters
and super fans
who can't get enough happier.
So we created our own podcast to keep the conversation going.
I'm Malika Amandi, a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a new mom, and an entrepreneur. I'm here with my sister, Azizi Williams.
That's me. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a not-so-new mom, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. In this episode, Malika and I chat about our summer experiences while together on location.
So we are on location at Familiar's Coffee and Tea in Northampton. We've got some very nice summer cafe vibes sitting outside. And throughout this episode, we will be in other places around the Pioneer Valley. And I should mention, this is one of my third places.
Oh, nice.
So Azizi, we have a milestone date approaching.
I know, Malika, I can't believe it. It's already almost been a year since we started this podcast. It's kind of bananas.
To mark the occasion, we would love to hear from you, our listeners, about your favorite Happier Ladies moments. So please complete our very short survey, which is linked in the description, and we will share the results in a future episode.
I look forward to reading your responses and celebrating our first anniversary with all of you. So please complete that survey. Thank you. And so now we're going to do the segment, Let's Catch Up, where we share something with each other that we've been thinking about lately. And this time we're going to talk about our Summer of Soul. Yay! It happened! We were in Washington, D.C. for our family reunion. We talked about it so much. We thought about it, we planned, we wondered, we asked for your help, you gave us suggestions, and then it happened. So we're going to share with you some of our highlights and things we learned, things we might do differently. And yeah, let's just jump in. Malika, what are your takeaways?
So I just want to acknowledge that you and I, we were in the same place, but we were on two different trips. And that is just the nature of our different life phases. I was mainly concerned with Indigo and his naps and like whatever else, his orbit. And you were mainly concerned with your daughters and visiting colleges. And we actually didn't even get to spend that much time together while we were on the trip.
We also were on different trips because you had the much larger suite at the very top of the hotel. So we were literally in very different parts of the hotel. Malika was in the fancy part, and I was kind of in the normal part, but I'll let her tell you about that.
Yes, so that would be one of my highlights. We got a free room upgrade to the presidential suite. And I didn't ask for that. It just happened. I did note on our road trip that I kept seeing my lucky number.
Oh, boy.
Wow. And I don't know if that had to do with it, but when I checked in, the person confirmed how many people I was with and the ages, and then was like, give me a moment, and disappeared for like 10 minutes and came back and kind of like winked at me, like had this conspiratorial look and was like, I upgraded you to the presidential suite. So that turned out quite nicely. We had a wonderful view of the city and plenty of space for the pack and play and a little kitchen.
It was like a house up there. So when I did see Malika, it was in her palatial suite because we were coming up to enjoy our meals, you know, in the comfort of her house up there. So that was amazing.
That was a very good experience and a reminder that sometimes you'd get an upgrade, and grateful for that. I actually really enjoyed the road trip element of the trip, which I wasn't anticipating. I'm not usually a road trip person, but we broke up the trip over 2 days getting down to DC with the three of us, Norm, Indigo, and I. And there was just some really beautiful like farmland that we drove through. I re-listened to the musical that I saw on my birthday, and that felt special. And then on the way back, we had a fun trip with you and Sinai. So that was a positive thing. And then I think another highlight, of course, was interacting with family, and especially for Indigo, he got to see a lot of relatives for the first time. And it was just so exciting to see his face light up and he remembered people's names. You know, he was very excited, and it was fun for others to meet him as well. And we actually got to spend some time with some of Norm's family that lives in the area who hadn't met Indigo yet either, so that was just doubly fun. I think if I had done anything differently, I would have gotten museum tickets ahead of time. The museums are free, which is amazing, but we did this long trek walking to the Air and Space Museum only to get there and realize they didn't have any more tickets, which is just kind of like traveling 101, you know, make reservations, look ahead, but I just kind of took it for granted that we could walk in anywhere, and we couldn't. I think there wasn't a lot of time to really go deep with relatives and have long conversations, but I am very grateful for the institution and the opportunity just to connect and see one another. That's just so valuable, and I'm glad that it happened. Shout out to the Family Reunion Committee and our mother in particular for all of the work they did to organize this and to keep it going every 2 years.
Malika, they had an app this year.
They did.
Really upgraded.
Yeah.
People were posting pictures to the app. They were giving updates about location meetups and things like that. We have come a long way since 1982.
Yeah.
The beginning of this tradition.
Azizi, what were some of your highlights?
So first of all, getting there, I realized as I was sitting on the plane next to my husband that this was the first time my husband and I had sat next to each other on a plane before. As I've talked about, I'm still fairly newly married. We just celebrated our 2nd year anniversary, and a lot of our courtship was in the pandemic, so there has not been a lot of traveling together. And so it was kind of nice to sit next to the person that I love on a plane. There's something to that. So that made the experience better. Of course, I was also happy to see our mom up there. So happy, so proud. She really is a holder of the family history along with my Uncle Lawrence. And she just delights in sharing it with younger generations. So that was nice to see her. And she's the family reunion president, so she was up at front of the stage often. Right, Union Market Food Hall. So because we couldn't do a food tour, there was just no way to fit it in. We tried so much. I wanted Malika to have her streak of traveling and having food tours everywhere she visits, but it was going to be too difficult with our short timetable. But then I realized a food hall is the next best thing because there are so many food options. It's an opportunity to sample the food or cuisine of the region and just from all over the world. And this particular place, Union Market, had a rooftop that you could enjoy. And I'll tell you, the temperature was like 20 degrees cooler on the rooftop. And there was AstroTurf and there was live music. And it was just a lovely way to have an early evening with family. So that was a huge, happy memory. I also want to give a shout out to our listener, Bonnie, who suggested that we tour the memorials at night, some of the big ones, because of the heat. And we did that, my family and I, just my immediate family and I. After the food hall, we went to Lincoln Memorial, and it was probably about 9 p.m., 8 or 9 p.m. It was dark and it was crowded. There were a lot of people there, but it was cooler and we didn't have to worry about, being in the sun, and everything was well lit, and you just get a different perspective on these huge monuments when they're all lit up at night with a moon in the backdrop and everything. So I would definitely recommend that, and I would do that again. My regret, is that I planned too much. I had so many ideas, as you know.
This is not the first time.
It's not the first time. And, even at the African American Museum, the Smithsonian Museum, which, by the way, the food was amazing, I highly recommend, there was just no time, really, to dig into it. But I actually don't regret. It's a sorry, not sorry moment, because I got to see a lot, and I feel satisfied about how the trip went. So I probably will continue planning too much. I don't know. I'm not going to probably change that part about me. And the next reunion in 2 years is going to be a cruise. It's going to be a much different vibe. So I'm really actually looking forward to this one. It'll be a cruise leaving Southern California, probably going to Ensenada or something. I don't know. But it'll be relaxation forward, I think, is probably going to be that reunion. And Indigo will be a little older. It's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to the next family reunion.
That one will be, in 2 years.
Yeah,
you said.
Every 2 years.
So speaking of the heat, Azizi, how did you beat the heat?
Right, so a big component of this trip, of this reunion, of this summer, has been the heat. And we thought we would share a few tips and hacks that we did to manage being outdoors all day, really, in this heat. So one thing is an Evian spray bottle. I'm sure you've seen them before, maybe you haven't. Evian sells a mister. It's like a handheld mister. And it actually works. And it was such a delightful jolt of coolness when you're standing outside in the sun. And it fits in your pocket. It's so small. I think I would recommend that. I would put that on my list if you know you're going to be outdoors for a period of time, because it helps to cool you down when you're hot. So that's something I would recommend that I appreciated. And then, of course, the folding hat. Don't leave home without it. I'm not a hat person, but the times when I wavered about, should I bring a hat? Am I going to need it? And I didn't bring it. I regretted not having it. Even if you're just standing in line for 10 minutes, just putting a hat on, it makes it more manageable. So that's going with me most places now. And it's light enough and compact, so that's an easy thing to bring. What about you, Malika? How did you stay cool?
Well, I did take your advice and I got a neck fan.
Yes.
And it was good. I mean, it was extra. Most people did not have neck fans on, but I was cooler than I think I would have been. It just like took the edge off. It was still very hot, but having that just little blast of air on my own face really made me complain less and just feel like, okay, I can handle this. We did a bus tour and I had it on during the bus tour, and so we were getting in and out in the monuments, and I think I even turned it on when I was packing, like before we left the house. I was like, and it just made things a little better.
And you know what? Next year, there'll be more people with neck fans.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Like, this is a thing that I think is going to spread. So absolutely, I had mine too.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, sorry to interrupt you, like a drive-by shout out. We're watching the Olympics, and I'm noticing more of the athletes and participants or audience members wearing neck bands. Like when we were watching the gymnastics, did you notice that?
I didn't.
There are people in the audience wearing neck bands, and I know it's really hot out there now. So this is risen to a whole new level, neck bands.
Very, very handy.
Yes.
Also, on your recommendation, I got some little handkerchiefs to keep in my pocket. So that's just handy to just mop up your face every so often, the little touch-ups. You know, I'm a sweaty person anyway, and it just like glows, you know, so you just, a little bit of management for that. And then we had a listener in our travel hacks recommend Ziploc bags, which I did bring some Ziploc bags, and I didn't know what I would use them for. And it turned out that even with our nice hotel upgrade, the refrigerator did not have a freezer. It was just like a little beverage refrigerator. We had all these ice packs, which were just kind of useless. But I was able to make makeshift ice packs using the Ziplocs and ice from the hotel to keep Indigo's bottles cool when we were out. So like his food and his milk stayed cool because we had Ziploc bags. So I was really grateful for that.
Wow, it's a new use.
So Azizi, we did the Summer of Soul.
It's over. We're never going to do DC like that again.
No.
But it was a fantastic time. I loved anticipating it and planning for it, and of course being there with you.
Me too. Me too. It was fun. Hi, Azizi.
Hi, Malika.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Ooh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies. Where are we right now?
I think it's called the Rail Trail.
We are on one of the rail trails.
Okay, one of the rail trails.
On a bridge that's crossing the Connecticut River.
It's beautiful. It's so pretty.
It's a nice day.
Lots of water.
We've got Kermit Ruffins with us.
I might hear his jingling tags. Hi.
Lots of activity.
It was packed. The parking lot was packed.
Yeah.
The weather is so nice now. It doesn't feel humid at all.
I know. I have
so
nothing negative to say about the weather in this moment.
It's kind of perfect for a summer day, you know.
Very nice. So we are in the middle of our sister trip. Mm-hmm. Well, sister visit, I guess. I'm not on a trip.
I know you're where you always are. I'm the one who's on the trip.
And we had our first meetup last night.
It worked.
It did.
It was so fun. It was so lovely. We have the best fans.
Yeah.
That's a sentence I never thought I would say. I couldn't imagine saying in a million years. But it was lovely, and the Sabrosa was so nice. The owner was gracious. The flowers were beautiful. It was a great night.
It was a really good time. It was just fun to connect with new people. There were 2 people who came who I'd corresponded with over email before.
Right, they reached out.
But then one person I had never even met, and they live like 5 minutes away from where we were meeting. You just never know who's out there listening to Happier Ladies.
You don't. Yeah.
So Norm came. He was the
happier
supportive spouse. Ants and I.
Yeah, my daughter was there.
And then 2 other people who came, their spouses were there too. Also just not listeners to the podcast, but
it was a family event. It was a nice family
yes.
event.
So it was fun. Thank you to those who came. It was lovely to meet you, and we're so happy to be Happier Ladies with you.
Thank you.
So one of our guests pointed out, we were talking about some things we were going to do on this sister visit, and she said, Jody, wisely, sounds like you have a lot of activities planned. Like, how are you even going to do all of that? And I said, that's a really good question.
Yes, that's how I roll. I love lots of activities. Lots of activities is my favorite. So we'll find a way.
We'll find a way.
And we already are.
We've done a lot of things. We've gotten to a lot of restaurants, and we watched the Olympics opening games.
I watched it to the end, okay?
Yeah,
I
could not.
You watched it to the end, and like the late showing. So I have so many thoughts. So if you watched the Olympic opening games and you have thoughts, please email us. I want to hear. Now's the time where I want to debrief with other people who saw the whole thing also. It was such a spectacle in the best way possible, I thought. And then what else did we do? We went to a thrift store.
Keystone Vintage. It's like a collective of, I think, over 30 vintage sellers in one space. So it's this big kind of converted area of the mill building, and it's just a cornucopia for the eyes.
It's very unique. So every time we come out here, I have to go, and I've never seen anything like it. It's sort of like an indoor flea market, but each stall is curated by the owner. You're not just getting one person's perspective and the things they like to collect. You're getting, I don't know, maybe 20. Always on our list when we come out here. Followed by Daily Operation, which is the most delicious place. It reminds me of The Bear. You know,
it's very The Bear.
The restaurant that I can't watch because it's too intense. But there's like an open kitchen, and you see the chefs doing their chef thing, and the food is interesting and seasonal and flavorful, and it's right near the Keystone Vintage.
Yeah, it's
so we always
in the next building.
That trip. And some more bikes.
So Orange Theory is on our list, but I don't know.
Of all the things that I could let go of,
that's the one. We might save that.
I'm not against it, but I'm also not needing it
right
now. So I'll leave that up to you.
But we are going to try to get to the pond beach today.
Yeah, I'm curious about this pond beach. If it has some beach vibes similar to LA.
You need to change your frame right now.
It's beach.
It's not going to be like LA.
It says it's a beach, so.
No, think more like maybe Raging Waters.
Raging Waters?
Like
That's such a weird reference.
Like the beach they have there, the little
Do they have
man-made
sand?
beach. I think it has sand.
Now I want to go to Raging Waters.
Okay.
I don't remember that. I was 12.
There's like
last
a
time I
little
was
faux
there.
beach.
Do you want to describe Raging Waters?
I mean, it's
brought it up.
it's a water park in Southern California, but I just remember there's like a faux beach that has simulated waves. It's not even like that. It's a little bit like
no
something
waves,
else.
right?
There aren't really waves, but there's water and sand, and the water's really pretty. You've been to Lake Tahoe, so
I have been to Lake Tahoe.
it's more like lake vibes than beach.
Okay, well, Lake Tahoe's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Okay. Did you like Raging Waters when you were a kid?
I just remember that wet swimsuit feeling, like,
Because you're in it all day.
yeah, and it was always like at a camp, where,
Right, with lots of other kids.
yeah, and then like you have your bag lunch and the
Yeah.
sandwich is soggy.
Yeah,
and,
it was always really hot.
yeah, so,
I remember when I went to Raging Waters with a camp, and I had my stuff stolen.
oh no.
And it was the most traumatic thing. I think my clothes, and I don't know. That's my last memory of Raging Waters. So part of me feels like I need to go back and
Reclaim it.
Yes, because I'm sure it's a good time as an adult when you can make choices.
Didn't you go with the girls when they were young?
No.
Or what was the water park you always went to?
Oh, Splash. That's where I need to go. That's the best. Actually, we talked about it. So Splash is like a baby Raging Waters. There's only 4 slides. There's a small lazy river. There's a splash pad. And then there's a whole park, like a green park with picnic benches. And they have cabanas. I would go there with the girls every year. That's in La Mirada.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we just wanted to check in. We were inspired by Liz and Gretchen. They're recording while they're in their travels.
Yes, it
So-
was very quaint. It sounds like they had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, Malika, we're also walking somewhere in the woods.
Yes.
It's not as historic, but it is beautiful. And there's water. So that's special.
Yes.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
And now it's time for peaks and valleys. Because in life, there are always peaks and valleys. And today we are coming to you from the farm share. Yay! We just got some vegetables, some melons. You picked some sunflowers, Azizi.
I did. I had to fight the bees for them, but they were gracious to step away. Yeah.
It's very hot right now.
Right. We're at the Mountain View Farms, and it is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. I'm staring out at rows and rows of sunflowers, and there's tomatoes and basil and beautiful trees and mountains that make up this happy valley. It's the most beautiful place. And it is really hot, although not as hot as it could have been.
True.
There's a nice breeze, so I will say it's of all the days to pick flowers and, vegetables at a farm, today's the best day.
All right, Azizi, you're up first with a peak.
Oh my goodness. I have so many peaks, and they're all related to my stay with my sister, Malika. I've been here for 2 weeks, and it's been so lovely. We've done so many great things. We had our meetup. We're at the farm now. What else did we do? I'm like drawing a blank right now.
We ate a lot of good food.
We went to thrift stores. We ate good food. So many wonderful things that we've gotten to do together as sisters and as family. Oh, and we've watched the Olympics,
Yes.
right? Another peak for the Olympics. Every night we've watched, swimming and gymnastics and women's rugby. Come on. So many great things. So it's been nice to do that with you. I also want to give a shout out to the Institute for Descriptive Inquiry, which was the professional development I did at Hampshire College. The Institute for Descriptive Inquiry is a time for educators to reflect on their practice and to think about student work in this sort of deep, reflective way that I love so much. So it was nice to get to do that as well. And I'm so happy and filled with joy that I got to spend time in this beautiful area with my beautiful family. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a shared peak for sure.
Yeah.
It's been a delight.
Well, you've been a great host. Having to put us up
thank
for
you.
all these weeks, giving us a car to drive and all of that. So thank you.
You're welcome. I think you're a great house guest.
Yay.
You buy your own groceries. So there's very little for me to do.
And it was, of course, a joy to get to spend time with Indigo and see how much he's grown. And yeah, I love these times we get to have together. And so, Malika, what is your valley?
So my valley is my back. I've been having this recurring back pain, and I know it started with the baby, picking him up when he was probably half of his current weight. And I know feels like it should be able to resolve itself if I just have better habits in terms of bending my knees and things. But I keep saying, oh, I'm going to do more ab work or like strengthen my core. You know, I kind of feel like I know what I need to do.
Right.
I've had some lower back issues before in my 20s and did physical therapy for it. And I have a lot of resistance to going back to physical therapy right now. But either way, I'll just say that the situation. But I've been trying to do like specific yoga geared towards lower back healing.
Good.
And it actually does help. I think if I can be consistent with it, it'll make a big difference. But I think I'm just in that acute phase right now. So that's a valley.
Well, by naming it, hopefully you'll do a few more things to resolve the issue. But I'm sure many people can relate to you. I've had back problems at different points in my life. I've noticed that when we watch the Olympics, you're sitting on the floor with a pillow. You're finding your place that's most comfortable, so that's good. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's leave on a happier thought. Azizi, what are you going to try this week?
I am going to start planning for my next trip to the Valley.
Okay.
To Happy Valley. I hope to be able to come out around the winter time, and time is now to start planning. What about you, Malika?
Well, I think I'm going to try to maintain the order you created in the kitchen.
Ooh.
So this is a peek to you that you took out all the old food in the cabinets and reorganized the kitchen and make it much more functional. And so I'm going to try to lean into that and use the kitchen and keep up the systems you set up.
It was fun, actually, throwing away old food. I think I really that's something very satisfying about looking at an expiration date and throwing out the food, and just remember outer order, inner calm.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to this adventuresome episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com and tell us something you liked about Happier and Happier in Hollywood this week.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Gretchen Rubin, Liz Kraft, and Sarah Fain for inspiring our conversation each week.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. And don't forget to complete our survey leading up to our anniversary. We'd love to hear from you about what has been meaningful for you in this past year.
Look out for that link on our show notes and on Instagram.
All right, Azizi. Have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Malika.
Bye.
Bye.
Try not to talk over me. Because it's going to be harder with the editing.
Okay.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.